In a small, remote town, there is an old house surrounded by wilderness. The house had been abandoned for years, abandoned by local residents due to rumors of an evil spirit haunting it. However, on a dark and stormy night, 5 friends, Ethan, Sarah, Alex, David, and Lisa, decide to investigate the house, fascinated by the mystery that surrounds it. They entered the house carefully, their steps breaking the stillness of the night. The dark rooms seemed to be gaping open, waiting for their arrival, and the bone-chilling night breeze made the hairs on the backs of their necks stand on end. "Ethan, are we supposed to be here?" Lisa asked, her voice shaking with fear. Ethan, always full of enthusiasm, smiled. "Of course. This is a great adventure. We will find whatever is in here." They explored every room, checking every corner carefully. However, the deeper they entered the house, the stronger the fear that haunted them. Suddenly, they discovered a door hidden behind layers of dust and darkness. Carefully, they opened the door and discovered a hidden room filled with ancient books and mystical artifacts. "Wow, look at this!" David exclaimed enthusiastically. "What are you thinking, Ethan?" Ethan grabbed one of the books from the shelf and started reading it with great interest. "This is a book about ancient spirit summoning rituals. How about we try it?" Sarah frowned. "Isn't that too dangerous?" However, their passion for adventure and curiosity keeps them going. They discover an ancient spell written in the book and decide to try the ritual, unaware of the dire consequences. They were gathered in the middle of the dark room, candles burning around them, creating a faint circle of light. They recited the mantra with a trembling voice, carefully following the instructions in the book. Their hands embalmed with essential oils were placed in the center of the circle, and the air around them began to vibrate. As the ritual reached its climax, a strange sensation swept through the room, and they felt the presence of something invisible. Their breaths stopped for a moment as they waited for the results of the ritual they performed, but what they got was not what they expected. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the room changed. The air was heavy, and the cold night breeze filtered in through the open windows. The candlelight flickered with increasing intensity, casting eerie shadows on the walls of the room. "No, we have to stop this," Sarah shouted, but her voice was drowned out by the strange sounds that filled the room. They tried to stop the ritual, but it was too late. They have opened the door to a dark and terrifying world, and now they must face the consequences. Gradually, evil spirits began to appear around them, dark shadows invisible to the human eye. They felt a cold touch on the nape of their necks, and strange sounds filled their ears, filling them with unimaginable fear. But the scariest thing of all is when one of them, Alex, starts behaving strangely. His eyes radiated an inhuman light, and his voice turned hoarse and unrecognizable. "Someone has to stop it," shouted Lisa, but no one could see how. As the darkness intensified its presence, they realized that they had awakened a power they could not control. Evil spirits begin to attack them one by one, terrorizing and haunting every step they take. They struggled to survive, but the dark forces were too strong. One of them, David, fell to the floor with a painful scream, his body shaken by an invisible force. As the night wore on, the house was filled with terrible sounds and terrified screams. Only one of them managed to escape, leaving the house behind him, but he knew that he would never be able to forget the horrific experience they had endured inside. And that's the story of how a naive spirit summoning turned into a terrifying nightmare, leaving them trapped in infinite darkness. with no hope of returning to the life they knew before.